Hello, I'm Hyunsoo from KAIST, and I'm going to talk about our user study system design PriviAware, which supports data visualization and dynamic data control to raise people's privacy awareness. Sensors are everywhere these days, especially in smartphones. Through mobile sensing, we can infer a lot about an individual, such as their behavior patterns and diverse contexts such as time, location, app usage, and their social interactions. With 24/7 passive sensing, there has been a growing realization in academia that everyday data collected from smartphone can contribute to understanding relationship between people's daily behaviors and debilitating health challenges, especially in mental health. This promising approach, also known as digital phenotyping, provides a continuous and passive assessment of one's behavior, mood, and cognition by applying machine learning to physiological and biometric data collected from smartphones and other personal digital devices. Despite the potential benefits of mobile sensing research in mental health, there is one critical problem: it's the privacy. To assess one's mental health status and identify the predictors of mental health risk, we need to collect massive amounts of personal data collection from smartphones such as GPS, calls, messages, phone status, app usage, and so on. Protecting user data and ensuring privacy is especially critical in this type of research, as the sensitivity of behavior and mental health diagnostics and predictions may lead to social stigma or discrimination, which can ultimately influence one's employment or health insurance. Furthermore, collecting everyday data generated by an individual can lead to surveillance as well as inferences about one's private life. Despite such concerns, recent studies have demonstrated that a large number of participants involved in mobile sensing research would often underestimate the severity of potential privacy threats due to limited knowledge of sensor data and show difficulty recalling diverse types of sensor data and associating them with potential privacy risks that can occur to them. Studies have pointed out that such lack of privacy awareness occurs due to a lack of transparency in mobile sensing research, as details of sensor data collection is often not articulated or easily examined by outsiders. From these points, we find our research motivation, which are: first, participants' lack of privacy awareness in mobile sensing research often comes from a lack of mental model in terms of sensor data collection. Second, data collection and data explanation in mobile sensing research are often not articulated or examined by outsiders. To tackle this issue, a concept called dynamic consent has been introduced to recent ubiquitous computing studies to offer more flexible data collection consent for users. Dynamic consent is a type of informed consent that has been originally discussed within the realm of biomedical research. Through a digital platform, dynamic consent offers a descriptive explanation of data collection and allows selective consent to data collection per data item. The crux of dynamic consent lies in its transparency, as it helps participants exercise their full rights to control their data. However, from our best knowledge, only a few studies have explored the applicability of dynamic consent in pervasive sensing scenarios, and no research has conducted an end-to-end field trial that aimed to design a system that share the key elements of dynamic consent. So here we cast our question: how can we design a system that supports user-friendly privacy decision in mobile sensing research? Since sensor data collection for mental health research and its consequences are new and largely unknown to participants, researchers should describe precisely to research subjects what data is being collected, how it is collected, and when it is collected in the informed consent process. Considering the importance of personal data collection and its potential applications in healthcare and other domains, this question is very timely and something we should deeply consider. Thus, we present PriviAware, a mobile app that promotes flexible user-consented data collection with data exploration and contextual filter, which allows disabling data collection based on a user's contextual preferences based on time and location. We set out a 3-week deployment study in the wild with 58 participants. The first step in the design space exploration, we recruited 7 participants to understand users' privacy concerns of mobile data collection, identify design requirements for the system design. Through the focus interview, we asked participants to draw and discuss design features that they hope to see from the system. Prior to the interview, we introduced the overview of the research. Throughout the design exploration phase, we found 2 major user needs. The first one was data exploration. Participants wanted sensitive data types such as app usage and GPS to be represented in easy and intuitive graphical representations so they can understand and explore the data more easily. Second, participants wanted a type of filtering option to remove or selectively allow data collection in personal contexts. By doing so, they wanted greater control in terms of their personal data. To sum up, we try to consider these two aspects in our system design. With these design considerations, we went through 3 iterative design process and thus present PriviAware. The left side is the main page of PriviAware. You log in through the app and you'll see types of data that are being collected. In the design exploration process, participants wanted to get more details of mobile sensor data collection to be aware of the privacy concerns regarding data collection. When you click each data type, it offers a more detailed explanation of the data collection. Beside each type represents the data collection status, where the left circle indicates data collection status as a default, whereas the right circle indicates that the data collection with the filtering feature is on. Now let's get a more in-depth look of the PriviAware. There are 2 key features of PriviAware, and the first one is its data exploration feature, which provides a graphical representation according to each sensor data type. When the users click upon specific sensor data types, the system supports visualization of the selected data in 3 formats: numeric, categorical, and location. The second key feature is the contextual filtering. Based on insights obtained from sensor data explorations, users can set filtering conditions for data collection according to their privacy concerns. In a way that can completely restrict a certain type of sensor data collection, the system provides a full on and off feature of a sensor data type. By pressing the new filter button, users can make a new contextual filter. For the specific period to pause data collections, users can turn on the time toggle button and to set the period for filtering. And with the same principle, they can turn on the location toggle button and pin the specific location to pause data collection within radius. Now with our system design, we set out the following 2 research questions. First, what are the user perception and perceived usability of the PriviAware system? Second, does PriviAware positively affect participants' privacy awareness, and how do data exploration and contextual filtering influence participants' behavior? To explore these questions, we conducted a 3-week deployment study with 58 participants from universities. To see the effect of the intervention system design, we set the first week as baseline, with only collecting mobile sensor data without any type of intervention. For the intervention weeks, we divided the group into 2. Participants in Group A received only data visualization support, while participants in Group B were also supported with contextual filtering. The reason behind such group division was to explore how contextual filtering comes into play when it is combined with data exploration, which has been a well-known method for effective delivery of privacy information. At the end of each week, participants were given a survey related to privacy concerns in sensing context to find out whether the privacy awareness increased over time. After the last week, 20 participants from 10 from each group joined exit interview to assess their experience with PriviAware. In terms of data exploration, participants generally reported it to be very intuitive and easy to understand. They assessed that graphical representations were well tailored to each data type. In terms of design recommendations, many participants suggested clustering frequently used apps in an order, as some users with extensive usage of diverse apps had a hard time figuring out their data, as bar graphs were stacked so densely. As to location data, participants were also wished that they could remove some of the overlapping location traces or display only the frequently visited locations. In terms of data control, participants mostly reported that the feature was intuitive and easy to use, while some participants reported that time filter was much easier compared to location filter. For design considerations, some participants were worried about the data filtering, so they wanted further confirmation that their data was safely deleted. Some participants suggested opt-in options since he desired a set of many filters on different types of data, and further suggested automated recommendations for filtering. Group A, with only data exploration, showed increased privacy awareness and highly praises transparency. A2 reported that the visualization support helped them fill the void between just knowing and actually seeing the data. Interestingly, some participants from Group A would report decreased privacy concerns while they were still aware of the privacy, as she perceived visualization support was helping her to be conscious of her data protection, which offered her a sense of discomfort, safety that led to decreased privacy concerns. In terms of sensitive data types, GPS, call logs, app usage were the most frequently cited data types. Participants were quite surprised to see the detailed traces of their personal data, and some participants claimed that such visualization was too much. One interesting pattern from participants from Group A was that the participants would often use data exploration feature as a reflection tool, not only on their personal data, but their daily life. At the end of each day, they would take a look at his or her data and associated them with daily context that happened during the day. Group B, given both data exploration and contextual filtering, seemed to be more active in terms of data collection control. At first, they didn't seem to care, but later on they would explore their data with visualization support and actively use both time and location filter. For example, B5 would first set the time filter on as routine and make granular adjustments with the location filter. Most participants reported that they did not depend on a single filter, but would rather employ both filters since it made them feel more secure and protected. Another interesting thing from participants from the Group B was that setting up a filter became a habit. So some participants would set up a filter before they start the day or during a special occasion. B8, who would set up a daily contextual filter before as he woke up, reported that he would often get upset if he forgot to make a filter. Another interesting finding from Group B was that participants would feel relieved and empowered due to the given contextual filtering. So they felt some sort of psychological safety due to the contextual filtering. Interestingly, such autonomy and reverse impact. Knowing that they have full control of their data with the contextual filtering, some participants reported that they were not concerned that much. Thus, some participants report that they barely use the filtering option. So these are the recap of the findings. In terms of user perception and perceived usability of the system, participants reported that both given features were intuitive and easy to use. In terms of the system effectiveness, Group A reported increased privacy awareness and leveraged the feature to self-reflect their daily lives in terms of personal data collection. Group B, added with contextual filtering, mostly reported active use of both time and location filter, which became a daily habit. With a contextual filter, they also reported a sense of empowerment as they perceived that feature had granted them a full control over their personal data. Participants also reported lessened privacy concerns due to such full data control. Based on our key findings, we discussed 3 ways to promote users' privacy awareness in mobile sensing research. First, we should strive ways to improve current data exploration and contextual filters to amplify participants' privacy awareness. Second, although user data protection is important, but also as a researcher, it is also important to access and leverage user data. Although participants were aware they could totally switch on and off their data, participants were hesitant to actively use such feature as they were aware that data collection is an important part of the research. Thus, in the future research, accommodating and balancing the needs and intentions of both participants and data contributors is one important research agenda. Third, participants would often focus on only few types of data such as GPS app usage. Since we also focus more on privacy-sensitive data types, future research should focus more on fewer data types closely related to privacy issues and balancing the data granularity presented to users. Throughout our user study, we find future design opportunities as well. From the user study, participants express a sense of discomfort as they had to manually set up a filter every time whenever they face a privacy-sensitive context. Future studies can leverage rule-based approach by learning user data so that it can automatically suggest personalized default consent settings. Second, participants had to consciously access the system when they wanted to view and browse their data, and sometimes they would forget. Employing more proactive and interactive nudge features or chatbot agents that informs alarming data collection or sends out a reminder to check up on personal data is also worth exploring. And this is it for the presentation, and thank you for your attention.